In today's vlog, guys, I'm going to show you and take you through my PM quad session. So I've done my big heavy straight leg deadlifts this morning with some cuffed leg curls, and I'm going to do... That was Ada. She's got a goose cough at the moment because she's got kennel cough. So if you hear her making noises in the background like she's heaving, that's why. So feel sorry for her, she's not too well. But I'm not going to edit that out. So today I'm going to be doing a belt squat as my first movement for my quads today. And I'm going to show you how I set that up from home, because I'm not doing the cable belt squat that you've seen me do before, which is a great movement, but I just found it starting to get a bit uncomfortable and I didn't get the training response I quite desired from it. And I found since setting up this belt squat variant, it's just felt better. So I'll take you out, I'll show you how I set it up. So for the belt squat that I'm going to be setting up, you will need a barbell, you'll need some Olympic plates, or actually no, you won't need Olympic plates, you'll need some plates, you'll need some collars, and hopefully some strong collars, you'll need a dipping belt, and you'll need a rack or something that you can use that's similar to this. So I have a mirror fit rack, and I have an Olympic barbell and Olympic plates. So I'll show you how I go about setting this all up. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get quite a bit of space for this, because I mean you're using a full length barbell. So what I'm going to do here with my mirror fit rack is you're going to need to have one side of maybe your safety or like the J hook that you put the barbell in one higher, and then you're going to want one side lower so that it has something to pivot off. And you also want one side to be a bit further out than the other so that you can not only pivot off it, but also bring the weight out to the side. It'll all become very clear as I show you. So you can see here I've got my safety up nice and high. I've removed my safety from down here, so then I can place my barbell here. So it's up this side and down this end. Now, this is scraping off paint, so you can try and have something that protects the bar. Something I have been doing is using this towel, but it's also ripped the towel in places. So I kind of double it up a few times to try and protect the bar / protect the paint on the safety. And yeah, I mean, I'm more worried about making sure I get a good training stimulus versus protecting the paint or the kind of, what's happening with these. So that's set up now. You want to put a plate on this end to secure this position. So I'll do that. So this end should be nice and secure now. I'm just going to tie on my towel, and then you can come to the lower end that I'll show you. So now you can see it here. You can see the high end where it's going to pivot from, the low end here. And really, you get an idea now already where you can lift the bar out from here, come across, and imagine my arms are a dipping belt, and then you can simply come down, squat up and down, as so. It will all come together very shortly. So once you're in this position, you're going to want to use your clips and put on your weight. So I'll just put on one plate to show you. So you can see now that has secured on this plate. And then you can use this second collar to come down here and go onto the end of your barbell, because then this is going to be an anchor for your dipping belt. And I'll show you how that looks as well. So you'll get your dipping belt, as per this. Bonus tip, if you've got some knee sleeves, put it over the dipping belt, and it adds padding, because otherwise it digs into your sides a lot. So yeah, that's definitely a good tip, and it saves lives. So then you get your dipping belt. And in fact, this chain can limit your range of motion, because if it's too long, then it's going to dangle really low and you're not going to get as much range. So rather than having it right on the end of my chain, I put it towards like this point or something along here. So then it's here before I clip myself in. and you want it nice and tight, because otherwise it's going to move around a lot. So then you have your little hole, and you can hook this under, as so. So you come under here. So it's up there. You can bring it out, and then you can squat down. So I've got my squatting shoes on. I'm not fully set up, as so. So you can see here as well, I've put down my squat wedges. This is going to allow me to get more forward knee travel, so more knee flexion, and ultimately more quad and just more range of motion. So I'll show you a warm-up set here. The most difficult part on all of this is actually loading the bar at the bottom, because it's at that angle and you're trying to push plates up onto it. The plates you've got on want to fall off, and then you're trying to also fight gravity by pushing them on. That's the most awkward part. I'm not sure with my setup if there's a way around it. I'm sure there are easier setups than what I've got and more ideal setups. It's not the worst, but it is a little bit unfortunate. I'm very glad that I got Pickle Rick in shot. Great Christmas present. Anyway, I've just been doing some abs, so forgive me, I'm a little bit out of breath. I wanted to talk through why belt squat. So first of all, belt squats and belt squat varieties are really great because they don't load you through the spine. The weight is coming through the lower back, but really it's just loading the hips and down. So axial loading through the spine, very centrally fatiguing. Anything overhead, anything standing, anything loading the spine, really fatiguing. So your deadlifts, your squat variations, very axial loading, very therefore fatiguing. And when you're training from home, you're quite limited to exercises. And so I can't jump on a leg press, which is obviously low axial load, but I can set up a belt squat variation. You've seen me doing the cable ones before, which are good, but I prefer these barbell ones. The reason I prefer these barbell ones is the cable really pulls you forward. Now, a normal belt squat, the cable is underneath you. I can't set that up like that on this, on my cable pulley. It has to come from in front. And so the weight is really dragging me forward, and so it gets a little bit uncomfortable if I'm very honest. Whereas this, the load is more so between my legs, and it's a really nice kind of pivot. And I would say if we're talking about resistance profiles is a bit of a better one. It feels better, to put it very kind of simple, whereas it isn't the same for the cable for me, for my setup. It might be for you, which is fine. Everyone's different as well. So this one feels really great. So that's why like it's a great movement for me, because it doesn't fatigue the crap out of me. It's very tiring, of course. Really quad dominant, especially when I have the heel raise and I can really drive my knees forward. Now, additionally, why this is great is, sorry, not additionally, but another thing I want to talk about is you may notice, I'm not sure if I will have put it up like this within the vlog, but I took breathers. So I don't take breathers on every single movement. And this is where you kind of do the movement and then you stop kind of within the set and take a breather. You could call this my reps, you could call this rest pause. Now, I don't call it either of those because I don't think I'm strictly doing any of those specific protocols. I'm also just taking a light breather. That is doing a few things, getting my cardiovascular system back in, but it's also dissipating some fatigue in that target muscle group to allow me to go more. Now, I don't do this anymore on my high bar back squats because when you're standing and there's axial load on top of your spine, it's very fatiguing just standing there. Whereas when I'm standing there with this, it's just loading my hips. It's kind of like almost pushing your feet out, maybe not locking them out, but having them out on a leg press. It's not very fatiguing, just holding it there, getting your breath and then going again. So what that allows you to do, and it's not something you have to do, but it could make that single set more stimulative. So you have to do less sets, whereas if you just go continuous, maybe you would get less stimulus but less fatigue, so you would have to do more sets. So I like doing that with these belt squats because I just get a really, really good training stimulus from taking 2 breathers. So I just stop when basically the rep gets hard, so I hit like a 3 or 4 RL basically. Gets hard, take some breathers, go again, and I take just like two, maybe 3 breathers. So just breath, breath, breath maybe, and then I go again. And then I go again until I hit basically another 3 to 4 where it just basically slows down, and then I go all the way to my RL. So it kind of does it in some kind of little mini sets within the set. So that's why I'm actually able to get like 20 reps on my first set here. Because I actually hit, I think, something like 13, and then hit something like 4, and then what's that, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3. So yeah, that's how I'm splitting it up, because I'm just getting good stimulus from that with some of the movements. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed that setup that I have there. Obviously back training from home now, which is not ideal, but it is what it is, and I know I can create a great training stimulus from home, so I'm very, very happy to just keep driving as much performance as I can, keep building as much muscle as possible, even during lockdown, give all my drive towards that, knowing that hopefully I'm going to be stepping on stage this year and be even bigger than what was predicted for last year. So predicted was like 175 pounds to 172 pounds on stage. I hope I'm like 175 pounds right at the upper end. I actually don't know what the upper end off the top of my head is for the middleweights, but it's somewhere around there, and I'm getting close to the middleweight upper end, whereas I was well dead in the middle of it previously where my stage weight was 165 pounds. So I'm gonna be nice 10 pounds up on stage. I'm gonna look very different when I get on stage, and they've just released the UK DFBA show dates, and there's less shows. It's gonna be a mighty competitive season this year, I tell you that. If you're gonna step on stage in the UK, you better be prepared to bring your A game, because there is gonna be so many competitors. Not only have they pushed all the shows later, so there's no early shows, so people who are doing early shows are now got more time to get even more lean, or they can break it up and maintain more muscle mass. Now, there's gonna be more people within each show because there's only 3 qualifiers and then there's a finals. It's gonna be ridiculous, I tell you that now. So anyone who even qualifies for finals, you ever and always do well. But sometimes not that many people turn up at a show. I tell you, this year is gonna be crazy, I think. It's gonna be very competitive. And I'm excited for it because I have all intentions in competing well in the future as well. So maybe I don't do and amazingly this year because it's just mighty competitive. You only do as well as whoever else turns up on the day. But I'm excited for it and excited to bring my all-time best and share that with you. So guys, with that said, I'll leave this vlog here. I hope everyone is well. Thank you as always for supporting us and communicating with us and just being part of the community. It's lovely to see. And with that, please, if you haven't, subscribe to the channel, like the video, give us a comment, give us a notification so you know that it's gonna be out and you can see it as soon as it's there. We'll talk to you, or I will talk to you, because Ada's in the room as well, so she might talk to you as well, but I'll talk to you soon. Cheers guys, revive stronger.